Welcome, my friends, to this community showdown featuring the Greenskins, who shall be led by Low-Sec Life, and the High Elves, who are going to be helmed by Big Block. So yes, it's going to be the Goblin Great Shaman. I hope he's on his wolf. He has Vanguard now, doesn't he? I know for a time he didn't, but I think they actually changed that. So yes, maybe we're going to see some shenanigans. Who knows? But as far as the Greenskin army goes, here in the front line, it's going to be Orc Boys, Goblins, Orc Boys. So yeah, pretty much all the low-tier Greenskin infantry just going to be slamming into the front line of the High Elves. And honestly, against like Spearmen and stuff like that, they're going to do an okay job. But obviously, against White Lions and higher tier troops might struggle a little bit. But honestly, at this point, it's more of a numbers game. You can see it's just going to be a big old, erect, angry Greenskin Wah. And that's what's cool about the Greenskins. Even if you have like this massive haggard force, if you, pop the Wah, it's going to be a massive force multiplier. Your army is just going to be super strong based on its numbers. So certainly pretty cool stuff. Orc Boys in the front line here, and on top of that, it looks like here in the back, it's going to be a couple Squig Hoppers, and I actually really like Squig Hoppers. They're a cool unit. They have good AP values, so I mean, even if they have to fight like Silver Helms or White Lions, they can do a little bit of work, though they are designed against infantry with the bonus versus infantry, and they're poison, of course, but yeah, these guys are pretty good, right? Good at running over White Lions, cycle charging the back line, and these ones are immune to psychology, but I don't think the other ones are. I think it's just the, so Squig Hoppers here. Wow, they're immune to psychology? That's pretty wild. Man, learn something every day, I guess, huh? But yeah, these guys are immune to psych, so I guess they are more psychologically resilient than chosen. But yeah, these Squig Hoppers are ready to go, or perhaps they're just insane, which would make more sense. We got a Goblin Great Shaman over here as well on his wolf. He does have the Night Shroud to give his characters stock if he so chooses. Gork will fix it, as well as Itchy Nuisance and Sneaky Stabbing. So going in pretty deep. He has a pretty good kit of spells. Now, there's not going to be any magic missile effects, which in this matchup, that's the more common tactic, is essentially when a Lariel flies in and inevitably tries to get the Arcane Unforging on your Lord to shut down your Wah. You blast her in the face with that and some of your missiles, and you can really take her down very quickly. However, it looks like the Greenskins are not going to be trying that tactic. So, man, interesting stuff. On top of that, he's got Orc Boar Boy Biggins in the back, all the anti-large spears. And yes, in terms of quality, they are, on the weaker end of the spectrum for, anti-large cav units. But in numbers and with a Wah, these piggy boys can certainly do some work. So on top of that, Greenskins do have Forest Goblin Spider Riders to kind of serve as a tar pit unit, just getting the poison on high value units. So if like the Sun Dragon or anything else lands, you surround it with these little spiders and kind of just shank them down. So pretty cool little force. Definitely nice stuff here from Zablasky. It looks like he does have Death's Creepers and the Morgub's Smaging Marauders, which is a nice little skirmish force. Very good at poking Alariel and dragons and stuff like that. And for the High Elves, it's going to be a more elite army, as expected. We got Spearmen in the front line, which will hold 50 melee defense. Certainly going to be decent for holding things in place while the Dragon Princes and the Dragon itself hammers things down. He's got 2 groups of White Lions here, 2 groups of Lothran Seaguard here in the back, Dragon Princes, and the Fireborn. So Fireborn are an interesting pick here. I mean, the Greenskins don't have too many large threats, but I guess, it's good. Because the Greenskins are going to have, Spider Riders, they're going to have Piggies, they're going to have sometimes Azag. And against, Arachnarok Spiders, it's also going to be helpful having that bonus versus large. So yeah, I like the Fireborn pick here. It's going to be good. So 2 Dragon Princes. Over here on the far side, he does also have Reaver Archers in the forest. So it looks like that's the only sneaky Vanguard he has. And he does have the glorious Walmart Dragon. So the Walmart Dragon does have the, I always forget which is its breath attack. It has the Sun Dragon's Breath, of course. Strong versus a single unit. Interesting stuff. Let's see how this game goes. So right now, Alariel's going to be flying in on her Pigeon, trying to juke and matrix some of these shots coming in from the Morgub's Smaging Marauders on the ground. Inevitably, though, she's just looking to get that Arcane Unforging. But you can see here, very good play by the Greenskins, hiding the little sneaky Goblin Great Shaman in the forest. Alariel is not going to be able to get that off. And also, the Goblin Great Shaman is very fast. He has 98 speed. So once the battle starts, it's not like he's going to be out of the picture for too long by sitting back here. He's going to be able to come in and help. And this entire time, a little bit greedy here from the High Elves, taking quite a bit of poke, but he really wants to get that Arcane Forging. It's extremely important to get that off because it basically nullifies the effectiveness of this massive force. Not completely, but to a large extent. So Orc Boys and company are going to be surging in. Dragon Prince charges are really going to hurt pretty bad, and you can see this little skirmishing core for the Greenskins really just putting a number on Alariel, so she is not having a good time. Now the frontline fighting is about to be underway. Dragon Princes are probably going to signal the charge here in a moment, but the Squig Hoppers are following up, and they have pretty good mass. So if these Squig Hoppers are able to kind of get in there and poison the Dragon Princes, and then the pigs can follow up, it can certainly be a little bit, destructive there. So over here you can see Alariel's looking into the forest, trying to find this little Goblin Great Shaman. Beautiful play here by the Greenskins. Awesome stuff. Hiding him on the edge of the forest, and now he's going to be cackling just running out here. I love it. It's so good. And anyways, Dragon Prince is going to be coming in. These boys are going to be taking a fat lancing to the face. And yeah, this is going to be pretty punishing. However, we'll see if the countercharge from the Greenskins is going to be enough. And Dragon Princes get in there, and honestly, they might as well stay and fight because, yeah, they're going to be able to kill both of these. But the wall is going down as well, so a little bit of a spooky engagement there. Dragon Princes on the other side to engage with the Squig Hoppers and the Orc Boys. And it's a pretty good engagement for the High Elves initially. They're really able to pound some of these cheap infantry, but the Greenskins are coming on pretty hard. You can see these Squig Hoppers here, and the Durkid Squigs and all these guys are just going to be swarming in. Breath Attack coming down over there, going to be going down on some of the pigs and Squigs. Well, no, just Squigs and boys, but it still does some okay damage. Nothing to write home about. In the meantime, the Night Goblin Shaman just running around. He got his Wa off, so I'm sure he's quite happy about himself. And Alarielle, in the meantime, is going to be looping back and around on her quest. She has been getting poisoned by those poison missile attacks, so she's been a little bit out of position here. Now, Fireborn do get Gorkle Fix It, which is going to slow them down, and it looks like the Orc Boy Biggins come in with sneaky stabbing. Squig Hoppers are here with good AP, and more Orc Boys are coming in. And I'm surprised these ones are still holding in the center of that pocket, but still doing a very good job. So back in the main battle, you can see the Warlords boys and the Squigs are all going to be attacking these white lines, thinking about perhaps bouncing over to the Lothran Seaguard here. But the High Elf player doing a pretty good job with this crossfire here, wearing down some of these Orc forces. And the Fireborn going to be coming back in, but also may take another charge from the Orc Biggins. Hard to say. The Biggins are actually going to go charge those white lines in the back. So the Fireborn are able to potentially intercept this Orc boy force. So far, it's actually, it seems like the battle's been very heavily in the favor of the Greenskins, but the bounce fire is actually relatively even. Now, back in the forest here, the Greenskin player has accidentally left his Morgub's Mage Marauders and these other troops, and Alarielle is going to be back in this battle now. So that hiding that Goblin Great Shaman was just super clutch this game. Alarielle is going to be dropping a fat heal over here. We're just going to be hitting the white lines here, the Spearmen, and I don't think there's any elite cav or anything like that. And a couple of the Greenskin cav units are buckling off. Night Goblin Squig Hoppers, obviously, now that the Wa is gone, having a little bit of trouble in sustained combat here, stuck among Spears and White Lines who are all getting healed, and the Fireborn are also there. So yes, did it hit the Fireborn? Ooh, it doesn't look like that star hit the Fireborn. That is a really unfortunate circumstance right there. In the meantime, the Dragon on the other side is going to be landing, and even if the Greenskins seem like they're in a very dominant position, they're very, very susceptible to terror routes here. So the Dragon's going to be coming in, getting attacked by some of these anti-large piggies, but Lothran Seaguard are going to be forming up ranks, and they're just going to be unleashing torrents of fire into the pigs and the Squig Hoppers here, which is going to be doing some pretty good work. So the Dragon does get back up in the sky. Balance of power is pretty even. Alarielle finally gets that Goblin Great Shaman with the Arcane Unforging, which is pretty much going to make sure there's not going to be any more Was over the course of this game, most likely. Fireborn are going to be taking a fight here, but there are two Goblin Big Bosses, a ton of angry Orcs riding pigs, and they're easily going to be able to mulch down. So just kind of a numbers game, just running down there, and you have these elite ancient warriors just being dragged down by these mushroom spawn, and yeah, that's Warhammer for you. Pigs here doing a pretty good job. So Fireborn are broken off in the back. There are some Reaver Archers who are having a skirmishing duel here with Morgub's Mage Marauders and Death's Creepers. High Elves are securing on some areas of the battlefield, although over here they're getting crumped pretty good. And over here on this side of the battlefield, this is probably where they're going to be able to stabilize. The Spears will hold these guys in place, the Dragon will terror out, and Alarielle with her heals is certainly going to be able to bring a lot of utility to the battlefield. And she could even go and try and snipe that Goblin Great Shaman, but it seems like Zabloski's micro in terms of protecting the Goblin Great Shaman has been very good. He's incredibly fast. 98, Dragon has a 95 speed, and Alarielle has 110. So she's actually faster than the Goblin Great Shaman, but of course he can do some jukes. And here you can see the High Elf player, I think, sensing that he needs to kill the leadership, is going to be going after the Goblin Great Shaman. But like I said, he's a tricky one. Look at this guy. He's got wheels, but yeah, Alarielle's coming for blood right now. Oh my god, look at him. He's like, just running from these guys. I love it. Alarielle might be able to catch him, but the Dragon certainly won't. So Goblin Great Shaman in a little bit of trouble now. It's going to be very micro-intensive. He's going to have to cut and move. Breath Attack going down right there is going to do some okay damage, but it looks like it was a bit of a miss right there. And Alarielle's going to get slapped with Gorkle Fix It by the Shaman, putting her speed down to actually 58. So at this point, the Goblin Great Shaman is going to be able to get away. It's a big slow. It actually slows by almost 50%, which is pretty solid. Now the High Elves, something I didn't notice, they actually have some Dragon Princes here, so I wonder if they're going to go back into the main fight or if they're just going to come over here and lance down these Orc boys. Hard to say, but the Greenskins have a lot of stuff left. They have two Goblin Big Bosses, a couple of groups of very tattered pigs and squigs. I like that, pigs and squigs. That could be like the name of a restaurant or something, like a barbecue place. I don't know, maybe in the Warhammer world. White Lines here holding. Lothran Seaguard are also going to be helping out, but it looks like this onslaught of pigs and squigs are going to be able to run these guys over. And here you can see that the Sun Dragon is going to be able to clean up this particular pocket. Now, Alarielle's on her way back into the battlefield. The Goblin Shaman able to cackle and run into the forest. I love the Goblin Great Shaman pick. It is so fun. Such a fun character. And up in the skies, the Dragon is going to be taking some arrows here from the Death's Creepers and the Morgub's Mage Marauders, who have a fair amount of ammunition at this point in the game. Definitely some pretty good usage there. And this High Elf force is going to be getting surrounded, but they're actually holding really well. I mean, these Lothran Seaguard are going to be trading extremely effectively against Squigs, Spider Riders, and Boar Riders. It's just going to be a numbers game at this point, but still, they're probably trading upward here and actually doing, much more damage than they normally would against this very tattered Greenskin army. But still, Greenskins are able to overwhelm that force here. They're probably going to rotate over and take out those Spearmen, and it's going to be hard, though. That Dragon is in good shape. I mean, a lot of the Greenskin anti-large troops are probably going to get terror routed almost instantly, but Alarielle goes in. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Not sure if it's going to pay off here, but she does have the support of the Dragon. Star of Avalorn's going down. He has Spearmen coming in. He has Dragon Princes. Probably going to be okay with that Star. Spearmen are going to be coming in to meet the pigs, and they're going to be able to just lance a lot of these pigs down. Dragon Prince is also going to be charging in. So suddenly the High Elves might be able to turn the tide against this Greenskin force. Alariel's taking a bit of work. Greenskins are going to be suffering some leadership issues here. You can see these ones are wavering. These Orc Boys are terrified. I'm really surprised that the Orc Boy Biggins haven't terror routed though. I mean, they're very, very beat up here, and there's a dragon and just all kinds of nonsense. But the first group of Orc Pigs who came in got terrified. The Spears are going to be able to kind of chew those guys down. Reaver Cav are coming back in as well, which is going to be incredibly useful. There still is some decent missile pressure coming in from the Greenskins, and you can see the bounce power is going to be ebbing into the favor of the High Elves for the first time here in the battle. I mean, it was a little bit in their favor, but this is the first time it's very clearly past the point here in the middle. And the Star Dragon is going to be jumping over onto these Cav units. Alariel's fighting, and the Reaver Cav are going to be slamming into the back line. It's going to be a nice little charge. Reaver Cav have really good combat stats. They're actually going to be able to beat down a lot of these Orc Boys, and you can see the Orc Boy Biggins are just getting crushed by the charge of the Reavers. And I think Reavers are probably one of the best units in the roster for the Alliance. But, I mean, they don't have the martial mastery or prowess right now, but nonetheless, they're still pretty good in the offensive department. So the Dragon is able to get a terror out. 2 Goblin Big Bosses here, there are no joke. If they're able to maybe get a couple good attacks on Alariel and kind of burn her down, look at that. One really good charge. It does some solid damage. Star Dragon's a little bit, not Star, the Walmart Dragon here is a little bit enveloped here by some of these Greenskin Cav forces. And the Goblin Big Boss is going for the Assassinate. If he's able to get Alariel here, I actually haven't watched this game, so I have no idea how the outcome's going to be, but if they're able to assassinate Alariel, that could be huge. Oh, she's pulling back, trying to get away, but there's like Spider Riders, man. That could be something that could throw the game, because if Alariel gets caught here, the Dragon could probably get taken out by the 2 Goblin Big Bosses and the Spider Riders. And plus, this Goblin Great Shaman still lurks in the shadows. And it looks like the pigs are actually able to secure many areas of the battlefield. Once they got terror routed, instead of running back into the terror of the dragon, they actually went around and started cleaning up scraps, which is very important. You can see here there's going to be the Magi Marauders who should be defeating the Dragon Princes. That's going to go down in some shameful history book there. And you can see the Alariel up in the sky, 164 HP, negative H leadership, negative 16. The Dragon is going to be the last boon here for the High Elves, and I don't think the Dragon's going to have enough stopping power to really just clean all this up. I mean, with the 2 Goblin Big Bosses being healthy, they're pretty good against those type of units. It's going to get poisoned. There's still a fair amount of anti-large, which probably will be terrified for the most part, but nonetheless, it's still going to be formidable if it can get a couple charges off. So you can see the Orc Boys get terrified. Normal stuff there. Bounce power is ebbing into the favor of the Greenskins. What a close back and forth battle between these two players. Crown of Command going off. Man, the plays. And that actually makes it unbreakable. You never see that. So this pig unit is unbreakable right now for a long duration. That means there's going to be some good sustained anti-large fighting here. And the Dragon isn't going to be able to tear out those piggies. So the first of the Goblin Great Shamans is going to be coming back in. High Elf player does have some Lothar and Seaguard coming in, which will be helpful. Some Spearmen as well, a little bit out of position. And, Alariel's coming back. She has an Arcane Conduit. Does that mean she's going to be able to get a heal on the Dragon? That could be pretty substantial. A Sneaky Stabbing going down as well. And it looks like there's going to be an Earthblood going down. I think I saw the initial cast there from Alariel. Oh, but did she break? No, she's coming back in. 8 leadership, 208 HP. Greenskins have no missiles left, so they're not going to be able to poke her. So he's pretty much can move with impunity right now. I'm not sure where this Goblin Big Boss is going. I think he was actually going out there to try and get close enough to her to cause her to have some leadership issues, but you can see here he wasn't able to do that. So Alariel's going to be online here. The Dragon's still grinding it out. Man, what a close fight. We got some High Elf Spearmen who are going to be coming back in as well, attacking these guys in the back. That's going to be huge. These Spearmen are going to kill a ton of these Forest Goblin or these Wolf Fighters right here. The Dragon helping out as well. So man, a late game resurgence here from the High Elves once again. The power just going back and forth between these two players. Even the Goblin Great Shaman's getting his hands dirty just fighting this Dragon, but this is not good for the Greenskins. The fact that now there's suddenly a bunch of spears here kind of poking the large entities, because yes, the Goblin Great Shaman, believe it or not, is large. I mean, he's on a wolf, so any mounted characters typically are going to be suffering that penalty there. And the Sun Dragon gets back up in the skies. Alariel's actually here. Archers are shooting. Spearmen are going to be fighting as well. Greenskins have a good opportunity here. I think the Dragon probably should have stayed with those spears, because that's a pretty good little kind of a defensive platform. The fact that they pulled back now allows the Greenskins to kind of swarm on those guys and potentially get some kills, and they're at negative 16. Now they're broken, so now the spear wall that was lending their sword to you, or spear I should say, is now gone. Alariel is maybe saving up for an Arcane Unforging, because she started to cast the heal earlier, and then she ran out, or she canceled it. You can actually cancel those, I think. And yeah, maybe she's saving up for an Arcane Unforging. But with that, Star Dragon taking a huge charge in the back from the Goblin Big Boss there, able to poison it, and the poison is really big here. The Dragon is obviously going to really suffer there, and some of the pigs come back in from Terror, and they're going to be able to probably break the Star Dragon, who's now wavering. Alariel charges in for her final charge, but now they're going to break 2 to army losses. Man, what a game! Well played to these 2 fine gentlemen. That was an amazing game. So Zablaski, aka Low Sec Life, with a very cool Goblin Great Shaman build, great micro. Evading the prodding eyes of Alariel in the early game was huge and he was able to just skirt the edges of that forest and hide from her fearsome eagle. And it was a cool build too. I mean, a lot of utility, not utility I should say, but a lot of presence here from the pigs. They did good. Squigs were always a good high mass blocker. I mean, it's just throwing bodies at these elite troops until they crumble down. That's the name of the game for this Greenskin build. And yeah, the High Elf build was good too. I liked it. Spearmen, Dragon Princes are pretty good against Greenskins. Heavy Cav in general are, because Greenskins have pretty haggard like anti-Cav with the Boarboy Biggins. But you know, it was a good build. It was a close game. Could have gone either way, honestly. So very well played to Low Sec Life and Big Block. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this glorious Greenskin versus High Elf game. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.